Hello my elegant friends and welcome back to this channel. My name is Tetevik and today we're going to talk about what kind of men to look for the relationship, and most importantly what to look in a man if you want to have a relationship, if you want to date seriously, if you want to have marriage and the lifestyle and the future you desire. Very often men and women ask, what shall I look for in a woman? Is that only about looks? Is that a specific attitude or specific attributes? And I say yes, there are specific general universal things that you can look for in your potential companion, which will benefit you in a long run. I have created another separate video just for men. Women of course can watch it and learn a bit, but I talk that women and men are looking for very different things in each other. And for men, I say that, usually they look for looks in a woman. You need to be attracted to a woman. You need to make sure that she has some traditions and values so she can, build a family with you. And then also you need to look for women that internally are happy, that are not mentally ill, that are not depressed, and that they're not into anxiety. Then you can build a relationship. So that is only for men. You see, it's very different. I cannot say the same thing for women because, for example, for women, men and their looks are not that important, because that is not the deal breaker for a good relationship, which for a man it is, because men need to be attracted physically to the woman to stay with her, because they're less likely to stay with a woman. They like to jump from one woman to another, which women are completely different. Majority of women, they like to be with the same men over and over again, so they can make their home and their family around that man. So women and men are looking for very different things. And in this video, I want to talk about what you, as a woman, as a classy, elegant lady, should look for a man, and a man of means, in a high caliber man. What kind of men you should date that will lead to a relationship, and what is the most important for a man to have for you to actually start dating him and actually considering him as a potential candidate. And before we start, let me just tell you that I also do one-to-one sessions, and this video is just a little glimpse. But if you are really triggered by this subject, or about femininity or dating or relationship or self-esteem or self-confidence, and you want to have this private consultation, I'm here to help you. You can always email me below, or you can also email me for getting some trainings, and of course you can email me for the book that is exclusive for now, and I will email you all the details. And of course, if you enjoy the energy and enjoy these kind of videos, you can always like it and always donate. All the links are below. So without further ado, let's start and dive in. Number one, what you should always look in a man, and this is very important for you to understand, is financial stability. Nowadays, a lot of women get shamed that they're looking for a provider type of man, and a man who can protect and provide for them and for their children. But actually, there is nothing new in that. This is not a new thing. If you really want that, don't be ashamed of that. Don't blame yourself. Don't put yourself down, because it is within your instincts. It's actually in a core of a woman to want a man who is provider. It's a natural part of a woman to strive for a man who can take care of her fully financially, who can meet her financial needs, because one day she'll be completely vulnerable when she's pregnant, when she cannot work, when she cannot really walk or do anything, and she needs somebody who can look after her until she's making this, family. And when she gives birth, she needs time to recover. Therefore, I always say, women who are married with men, or even not married with men, who force them to go to work when they're pregnant or after pregnancy, right after, I think those men do not really love these women, because a woman is such a vulnerable and sweet and such a precious creature, and especially when she's carrying a life with her in herself. That woman deserves the ultimate care and love. Therefore, if you are a woman, and there are a lot of women who struggle in the world, who are pregnant and are working until the last week when they need to give birth, who are just had the baby and after 2-3 months they go back to work and the baby is in a nursery, which is completely unnatural. The first 3 years of a mother and a baby, they need to be together, because there is a specific bond that if you are not allowing that bond to stay there, the traumatic experience of that bond being just thrown apart will influence that child forever. And a lot of babies now grow up, from like 4 or 5 months old, with being apart from their mothers, not even knowing how their mothers smell. So if you are one of these women who is struggling, maybe it's time for you to stop this and make sure that you don't blame yourself and you don't listen to anybody, you don't allow anybody to limit you, and you say, I'm a woman and I am looking for a provider man who can protect me, who can provide for me, who can secure me, who can fully take care of me and my children, who is financially stable. So in this, I want to tell you that you need to look back in older times. Only nowadays, lately, women want to be these modern women who want to have equality. Actually, it was never a case, because women were always happy to be taken care of. I'm not talking if the husband is sadistic or, controlling or in any way abusive. That is, of course, not a question about that. We don't need that kind of men in our life. And if we are classy, elegant, and we have self-love, if we're women like that, we will never attract that kind of men. If you're attracting those kind of men, there is some kind of void, some kind of validation that you're looking for, and some kind of punishment. So that is already a problem, and definitely I would suggest you to have a consultation. You can do it with me, you can do it with anybody else, you can go to a psychotherapist or just a psychologist, but you need some kind of help, because that is not a natural. So going back to the first one, definitely look for a man who is financially stable, who can give you the lifestyle that you want, who can provide for your children. And if you ever get sick or you're pregnant or you don't want to work, you know that your back is covered. A masculine role is always to look after a woman. And if you don't want that kind of man, it is up to you. But of course, this is a very traditional type of channel. This is for women who really want that. And this is empowering them to understand that you don't need to be ashamed of that. You need to admit that, and you can also even communicate that on a date, that, I'm very traditional and I don't want to compete with you or any other men. I'm happy to have a person who will provide for me, who is financially stable. And please, women, understand that when a guy is 20 or 25 or even 30, he cannot be fully financially stable if he doesn't come from a wealthy family. So build your life wisely. If you are 30, please don't marry somebody who's 31, because you're first of all in the same age. He will never look at you as a prize, and he will never provide for you. So go for a little older man who understand your value, who can provide, and who already establish that financial background to provide for you. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. Actually, men, very deep inside, that's exactly what they want to do. It's just for the right woman they're waiting for. Is that what it is? It is. So let's go to the second point. This is very similar. Men and women have this in the same category. They want to have with somebody who has actually traditions. So I would say go for a man who has some kind of traditions and who has some kind of virtues and values. Because if a man is into addictions, smoking or drinking or gambling or video games, those are all addictions. It means he doesn't really value himself, he doesn't value life, and he doesn't appreciate his own health. So how can he appreciate your health? Usually it's unfortunate, but a lot of people who date other people who are into drugs or into alcohol or into cigarettes or gambling, what happens that it's very unfortunate, but the person who was healthy before becomes the same way. They, like the addicted person. There are multiple researches that actually show that people who are eating fast food and they start dating somebody who eats healthy, it's more likely for the healthy person to start eating fast food than opposite. Why? Because falling is way easier than standing up. You need to always remember that. If you are dating a man and he's smoking, drinking, drugs, crime, abuse, gambling, leave that man. There is no potential in that. Run. Is not even leave, is run. Put your hair back and run. Run from that man. And don't look back, okay? Don't look back. And the third one, what I want to mention in this video, is masculinity. Go for men who are truly masculine. Because look, if you're truly feminine, if you're elegant, if you're classy, if you know your worth, you will always go for masculine men, and that's what you will be attracted to, and those kind of men will be attracted to you. So go for masculine men who want to lead, who want to progress relationship with you, who want to pursue you, who want to chase you, who want to approach you, not opposite. Don't go for feminine type of men. You see, I can't even say feminine type of men in one sentence because it doesn't work for me. Those two things cannot go together. Of course, nowadays a lot of men are very feminine. They're very weak and they're so like little princesses. You can't talk with them. Everything, they are so vulnerable, they're so emotional. That is not a real man. That's little boys, or maybe they have some problems and they think that they're girls. But you do not have time for that. You don't have to time to analyze, to discuss, to argue, to prove, to educate them. You are not their mother, you are not their teacher, you are nobody to them. If you meet that kind of men, just leave it. Leave it. It's not for you. Go for masculine type of men. Men who will be fully there for you when you need. Men who want to be head of the family, who will take care of your kids, who will lead the situation, who will solve the problems. I had a consultation recently, and a husband of this woman lost his job, and he didn't go to job. He didn't go to work. She went, and I said, what are you doing? You are changing roles. He is the man, he's the masculine. Let him solve the problem. But what are we going to eat? I said, you better starve with men so he can gather himself and know, okay, I have to go to work because my woman is starving. And that is much better than when you go and you become a man and you provide for him. Don't take masculine role on you. Allow men to solve the problem. Allow men to open the jars. Allow men to fix the house. Allow men to earn the biggest part of the money. Allow him to lead. Then you will be happy as a woman, because that's when your feminine energy can come out. Because you don't need to argue. You don't need to prove. You don't need to earn anything. You are taken care of. So, elegant ladies, let's summarize one more time. What are you looking for in a man to have a decent relationship that can lead to the future? First of all, you date only financially stable men. Financially stable men won't give you excuses. They will impress you and spoil you like you deserve. Second of all, you go for men that have traditions and values, who want to have families, who are traditional in their behavior, who value their house and do not have addictions. And third of all, which is the final, you go for men who are masculine, truly manly, mature men who would like to solve your problems, who will help you in any circumstances, and who will lead the relationship. Only then you can be feminine and be happy. So here you go, you have these 3 steps. They are very big. Actually, these are maybe elements in a man that you should look for. And you know what? You can easily spot if the man has them. So you don't need to really waste your time. If the man is not meeting these standards that you have, just skip them. Go to the next one. Because ladies, always remember, there is a man who can give you exactly what you want. So don't settle for less. There is a man who can give you exactly what you want, need, and deserve. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to have one-to-one coaching with me, I'm always happy to help you. Just email me below. And don't forget, my elegant ladies, love yourselves, put yourselves first, and choose the men who will benefit your life, who will give you the lifestyle you want, and who will adore you as you are.